The communists are coming, people at the church whispered. A communist? I asked. How was I to know? I was only 8. Red men from North Korea, one person said. Red men? The doors of Namdaemun Church were heavily closed, and the tower bell remained silent. The sun shone beautifully, but people at church spoke loudly, like magpies crying after losing their nests. Everyone scattered a short time later. I ran home with the rest of my family, and on the way we saw thousands of people gathered by the streets watching the communist military parade pass by. I rushed into my house and grabbed my doll from underneath a blanket. When I came back outside, the crowd had gotten longer and deeper, so I could no longer see the parade making its way down the main road. My siblings were with me, burrowed between people's legs like squirrels, making our way to the front where we could see better. I had 4 siblings, my elder sister Yumi, who was 11 years old, my twin elder brothers Yun and Pyung, who were both 10, and my younger brother Jun, who was only 4. I kept a firm hold on my pretty doll Hia. Her eyes were as blue as the sky, and her hair was the color of pure gold. My father had sent her from America as a Christmas present. We got to the front of the crowd. I saw Minja, one of my friends, sitting on the opposite side of the street.
She waved and yelled, "Sumi, come over here!" But a strong barricade kept the crowd out of the streets, and the guards on horseback did not allow anyone to cross. So Minja and I just waved, sorry that we could not sit together and talk. The area was silent except for the sound of horse hooves clapping the road. About noon, communist tanks and weapon-loaded trucks thundered through Seoul's northern gate, Songrae-moon. The communist soldiers followed, singing military songs, and they wore almost the same uniforms as our South Korean army. Seoul is the capital of South Korea, and the communists were headed toward Pyongyang-dae, Cheongwa-dae, where our president lived. The crowd fell silent. They don't have any red marks on their bodies. Why do we call them red men? I asked my elder brother Pyong. It means they have evil minds, Pyong whispered in my ear. I think red represents blood. Oh look, there are women soldiers, people said. We turned to look. Oh my, I shouted. Look at the leader. She is... Pyong cupped his hand over my mouth. My heart pounded. The leader was Ede-ani, a law school student who had been a tenant in our very house. She wielded a big baton and wore an important-looking uniform. My siblings and I crouched back into the crowd to hide our faces. We ran home as soon as Ede-ani passed. After dark, my mother gathered my siblings and warned us about the communists. Don't say anything about your father. If they know that he is in America, they will hate us, she said. Be careful what you say when you are with our friends and our neighbors. But Ede-ani knows everything, I said. Does she have an evil mind too? We don't know God's will, my mother said. We'll have to wait and see. Ede-ani was pretty, smart, and athletic, and we used to love having her in our home. I never knew her real name. In Korea, it's impolite for children to call adults by their first or last name, so I called her Ede, short for the university she attended, and Ani, which means sister in Korea. People admired her because she was one of the few women who went to university at that time. She rented a room in our house while she attended classes. She smiled all the time and loved telling short stories. Her stories were fantastic, and her beautiful voice pulled all the children closer toward her. I had once hoped to be a woman like Ede-ani, but she had changed since becoming a communist. She didn't smile anymore and didn't seem to want to even make eye contact. And every day she wielded a baton, shouting, yelling, and commanding for training women's shoulders in our backyard. The world is turning upside down, I said aloud. Slowly, darkness was descending on our family. The next day I stuffed my backpack with books, homework, my lunchbox, and a toy boat that I had made in arts and crafts class. I was excited to see my friends at school because I wanted to talk about the Communist Parade. My school, which was Jangchun Elementary, was outside the giant city gates that marked the downtown area. Seoul had 4 gates, one in the north, south, east, and west. The ancient Korean king built them in the 14th century to symbolize the city's power, and the most important gate was the south gate, called Songrae-moon, or Namdaemun. Generations of kings and presidents performed national parades and other festivities on Namdae Moon Road in front of the gate. I thought maybe my friends at school had not seen the communist parade, but as I walked I didn't see any children in the streets. Am I late? I looked around and realized that oddly, all the stores were closed. I hurried towards school, but when I got there I saw the school gates were locked. Several students walked back and forth along the school walls, but there was no way to get in. I walked over to read a notice that had been posted on the gates. It said that summer vacation was starting 2 weeks earlier, and that it would last longer than usual. There would be no more school for a long time. Wow, a long summer vacation, I said, happily at first. But soon after I started to feel something was missing. Every year it had been the same. On the first day of vacation, the students still came to school and stood on the front lawns while the teachers lectured us about how we should study and behave ourselves during dinner. Summer. It was a long and boring ceremony, but it was tradition. Today there was no speech, no summer homework, no final chance to say goodbye to friends. The other students wandering outside the gates also looked unhappy. I turned back towards home. On the way I stopped by a small stream and took out the boat that I had made for an assignment. I caught ants from a nearby anthill and loaded them onto the little boat. I sailed the boat down the stream. Bye-bye, be happy, I said to the ants floating down the stream. I pretended that the ants were my friends and that I would see them again when we came back from vacation. For now, they were going on a fun cruise. I skipped the rest of the way home. Chapter 2, The Soldier's Watches. Ede Uni came to our home and talked to my mother about the communists. The communists want everyone to be equal, she said. There is nothing to worry about. Our leader Kim Il-sung will give us everything we need. Praise Leader Kim instead of praising your God, who you can't see. My mother said little but took a big breath after Ede Uni left. She started shaking and breaking into a sweat. Mom, why are you worried? Ede Uni told you that we're now in paradise. Assuming that is all too good to be true, my mother said. Ede Uni doesn't know what the communist leaders will do. Communists believe that people can share food, clothes, and money equally. It's a good idea, but the leaders don't do what they say. They are liars and killers. We worship God every morning, and I'm afraid that Ede Uni might report us to her leaders, my mother continued. The communists hate Christians. They will not let us even sing our hymns. My mother's face was pale and her voice trembled. I cannot believe she is involved with the communists. Seoul was once a peaceful city surrounded by beautiful mountains. In spring, the hills turned pink with the azalea flowers. In summer, the mountain's great white stones stood proudly against the dark green pines. Red, yellow, and orange leaves danced their farewell party in autumn. And as winter came, snow that looked like white fairies fell to the ground and let the city sleep in peace. But now it was different. The city was dreadful. In my mind, the blue sky seemed black and the mountains looked like iron walls. Most people were scared to see the North Korean soldiers. The streets below. The communist soldiers went door to door, crashing into stores and stealing everything. They also dragged away any boy over 14 years of age to become soldiers in the communist army. Please don't take my only son. Please, please, a woman cried as the soldiers took away her teenage boy. The soldiers took the weak woman and forced the boy into a truck, already filled with people. Fortunately, my twin brothers, Young and Pyung, were only 10 years old. I was glad they could stay with us. Minja was my only friend in the neighborhood, but we didn't play like we used to. The day after the communist parade, I went to her house, but she slammed the door when she found out it was me. I was astonished because we hadn't fought. I didn't understand why she was angry with me. My face turned red when I came back home in tears, and my older sister Yumi asked what happened. I told her everything. There wasn't any reason to do that, I said. Minja's parents are communists, my sister said. They probably forbade her from playing with you because her family is Christian. I was stunned. I didn't know Minja was a communist too. This is so sad. We were best friends yesterday, but today we're supposed to be enemies? My sister gave me a hug and I cried more and more. Minja never played with me again. The next day I went outside with my twin brothers and their friends. Our neighborhood streets were empty because people shut their doors and wouldn't come out. It felt like a ghost village, but we walked around anyway, looking for mischief. It became as we neared the city center. The buildings and surrounding mountains were exactly the same, but the character of the downtown area had changed. Strangers with strong northern accents crowded the streets. A guard with a rifle stood in front of the communist headquarters like a stone statue. My brothers and their friends were curious, so they approached him. The soldier wore watches on his wrists, arms, and even had watches looped through his belt, hid behind my brother Pyong. "What time is it?" Pyong asked. "What do you mean?" the soldier said. He moved only his eyes and lips, the rest of his body remaining motionless. "You have watches all over," my brother Yan said. "You don't know what they're for?" "No," the soldier replied. Yan pulled me forward. "Dummy, even my little sister knows what a watch is for." I couldn't help but giggle. "You use it to tell time," one of my brother's friends said. "We'll teach you how to use it." The brave boy stepped towards the soldier. "Oh, all the watches are dead," Yan said, and the boys laughed. The soldier was from a poor mountain village in North Korea. He had never gone to school and didn't know anything about watches or other modern things. "As soon as you wind up the watch, the hand will start to move," Pyong explained. "The short hand tells you the hour and the long hand tells you the minute." "Aha! The watches are working now!" the soldier exclaimed. "Why do you have so many watches if you don't even know how to tell time?" "You only need one," Yan said. "It was my harvest from the stores," the soldier said. "Your harvest?" The soldier had stolen the watches from the Myeongdong fashion area, where stores sold nice things like watches, jewelry, and leather handbags. I had passed by every day on the way to school, and I used to love to peer through the windows and look at the sparkling items. My brother used to love to look at the jackknives and toys on display, pressing their noses against the counters to see them closer. We were sometimes late for class because we spent so much time in the Myeongdong shopping plaza. It was one of our favorite places to go. "Now the communists have stolen everything from the stores," I thought, biting my tongue. We poked fun at the soldier some more until he finally shooed us away. We started our walk back home. "How can we trust the communists?" Jung asked. No, never trust them," Pyong said. "They had stolen from our neighborhood stores. They were dumb as oxen. They could never take control of us."
The grandfather clock was to